There he is. What's going on, man?
How's it going? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. We're rocking and rolling. And look, your essence of inspiration, that's who you are and what you write about, the A to B steps to a richer life. What is a richer life to you?
A richer life is really defining who you are and falling in love of yourself in the process. From my story, I used to be homeless. I survived the summer of 2013 with $1.78. So fast forward, now I'm a serial entrepreneur with many titles, but it really started from an inner being of discovering what I really wanted, and then using the law of attraction, manifestation, and the guidance of God and the universe to really discover what that inner happiness is. So it's really an individual answer for every single individual, but for me, that was my journey.
In faith, whether you believe in God or not, I always say everybody believes in a God. They may not know which God they believe in,
right.
But everybody is, I used to pray to money, right? I used to tell my mom I didn't believe in God, but I was just praying to the wrong God. There is an omniscient, all-powerful, all-knowing source that loves us more than our moms love us. You've hit rock bottom, and faith is a key critical component of understanding your purpose and allowing you to live in inspiration. How does from A to B, the steps, utilizing inspiration as its essence in order to get you pragmatically to where you want to be with the man-made constructs of time, amounts, money, whatever else we can reconcile in our day-to-day 24 hours we're given? How does inspiration and faith reconcile into that type of pragmatic world?
Perfect. So that's the reason why I wrote the book. I met so many people on my journey. So my first book is actually called The Power of the Subconscious Mind, a pocketbook guide for prosperity, success, and happiness. And so with me having so many life experiences, that book really helped people define their life experiences. Well, the essence of inspiration is, well, we all get inspired, but how do we actually define our life and scale it from inspiration? Well, it starts with actually the groundwork, the inner being. So we have to address our problems from head first. I tell people, have an honest look in the mirror. The moment you have an honest look in the mirror, the world views you how you view yourself. So when you have that honest depiction of where you want to go, you have the knowledge of where you're currently at. And for a place where you want to go, you have to be grateful where you're currently. So it's all about gratitude, but you have to have key steps, measurements, KPIs, and A to B. So I help people really define what their karma is and addressing their insecurities. We all have insecurities, but our perception of our insecurities limit us. So we all have our own limitations within our fragmentations of our mind. But if we have honest, outer perspective and growth from it without a person feeling that we're being judged, we actually just listening to an individual. All our truths from another individual is someone's truth, but sometimes we don't define it as a truth because we may not have had that experience. We all come from different backgrounds. So what I do with people who get inspired, if you want to get inspired with from any conversation in life, take the grain of salt from it, but we all have to experience if when we look at another person that we're inspired for or empowered, or someone of influence, we have to at least say that we want to experience their life. And if we do want to experience their life, we have to acknowledge that they have something more than us in their life without us feeling that we're lack at the same time.
Now, you were homeless, and you talk about being homeless to homeowner. And I see someone like you who's extremely intelligent, extremely intuitive, and extremely inspired. In fact, to the point where you may be our president in 2028, and I'll be saving this video just to tell people I knew my man Denarius before he was president. And to that end, I think to myself, how is it someone like you could even be homeless? You must have, with your intellect, intuition, and inspiration, and your ability to ask for help, great capabilities beyond being stuck on the streets. How long were you homeless, and why were you homeless?
Yeah, I'll tell you the story. So I'm originally from Memphis, Tennessee, grew up in Burnsville, Minnesota. After many years of wrestling, I wanted to go to college. So I went to college in Iowa Central. I was a part of a national champion team in wrestling, cross country. But after suffering my 9th concussion, I said, I'm done trying to be this macho guy. There has to be something else out here. I then transferred to school out in Sierra Nevada College in Lake Tahoe. So I lived a really cool paddleboarding, hiking, really the essence of getting grounded. And then in that transfer, That school was unaffordable. It was like $40,000 a year. My mom, you know, I'm coming from a single parent household, mom working 22 years at Walmart. So I lasted a semester. But I met a guy out there. He was like, yo, Daenerys, you can come stay with me back in Minnesota. I was like, bet, man, I live there. My family just moved back to Tennessee, so I don't want to live in the South. I'll come stay with you. Well, it didn't work out because he just thought I wanted to come and party. I was like, no, I need somewhere to stay until the semester starts. Well, I sent out a tweet on Twitter. An old family friend that knew me through the wrestling community said, hey, Daenerys, we love you. Come hitch a ride to Prior Lake. And they took me in. And then I got accepted to every school in Minnesota, but didn't have a car, license, or permit to get around. Well, I had a friend. She was going to St. Cloud State on a Friday. I reached out to her on a Wednesday. Can I jump in your car? And so I went to St. Cloud State. I started my first business. I hired a company to create my iPhone app. But I put all my eggs in one basket. So in that summer, I had nowhere to go. My friends, you know, this campus is closed. So I just had to couch hop. And I was couch hopping, meeting friends, being the funny guy that people let sleep on the couch until I met some friends that we all wanted to move into the house together. But, you know, move-in's 2 months later. So that was my homeless phase, just figuring out, being, you know, just trying to get things going. But at that time in my life, I met a mentor, and she asked me 2 questions. If money was never an option, what would you want your life to look like? And at that time, I was broke. I said, the cars, the women, all of the, you know, the physical things that actually don't matter. And then she asked me, why is your life actually like that? And I came up with every excuse why my life wasn't like that rather than why it could. And that was my paradigm shift. And I didn't know who she was. She was actually a good friend of Bob Proctor. So she's the one who taught me transformational learning. And that moment is what helped me cultivate. And so it really came from experiences of me actually asking for help, being humble, and people really knowing me for who I wanted to become. And then with those experiences, I've also became the person I currently am. And I've always honored all of those who have, you know, given me a chance at a time that I actually no one typically, you know, would.
Yeah, and Daenerys, as you probably know, Bob Proctor is one of not only my great mentors. I've written books, stepped on stages, with TV show World's Greatest Motivators with, but he's also, or was also, the biggest donor to the charity, which I'm the chairman of, the Unstoppable Foundation. And those 2 questions that you were asked by one of, you know, Proctor Gallagher's coaches is invariably the way that we shift the paradigm, right? We shift the paradigm. Instead of saying, Daenerys, how are you going to get more healthy? How are you going to get more wealthy? How are you going to get more happy? How are you going to get more worthy? To saying, Daenerys, you are happy, healthy, wealthy, and worthy. What are you doing to interfere with it? And it is the first step, those questions, and then to effectuate the awareness of identifying the ego-based consciousness that adds gold out of your life, the goodness out of your life, that creates the interference between you and the faith that you have, the omniscient, all-powerful, the essence of inspiration that you are. And I love the fact that you put into your bio 2028 United States of America's presidential candidate, because, you know, the optimum outreach that you have, you're the type of person who I want to empower to lead the world, because you understand we can't find outside of us what we can find inside of us. And if we're asking the right questions with the faith of what we are and figuring out what we're doing to interfere with it, not just as individuals, but as a collective consciousness, we're much, much better off. Now you have so many things going on. You got Mr. Peep World, you got Optimum Outreach, your book's on Amazon. You know, what's the one takeaway that you as a future presidential candidate would like to leave your future constituents with?
Decentralization, which is cryptocurrency. I say all those things. I've been humbled to have all these experiences, books and stores, landlord. But what I learned is that everyday entry point to really growing your wealth is now this new wave of wealth. This is cryptocurrency. 10 years ago, when I was getting out of high school, people told me about Bitcoin, but I said, I'm going to go to school, get good grades, and graduate. For me to actually never graduate, now go in schools and tell kids to stay in school. And I now know that cryptocurrency is a way that most people aren't familiar with. And so what I did is I took a leap of faith. Last year, my business partner challenged me. Optimum Outreach, we're a telecom brokerage. So we help businesses with their phones, TV, and internet. But our company logo is actually 2 black men putting their heads together for collective change. And we start doing that by leading with action. And so I reinvented. Now I'm a venture capitalist in the cryptocurrency space. And I've invested in over 200 projects throughout the years. Over the past year, now I've learned, I teach people now how to make passive income streams, how to make $250 a day, $500 a day, and passive income by diversification in the cryptocurrency. We all have a chance in this world to really grow our wealth, and cryptocurrency gives everyone an entry point to do so. In December, with Mr. Peak World, our NFT project, we're going to Mexico, and I'll be sponsoring 25 families, onboarding them onto cryptocurrencies, giving them laptops, computers, and I'm learning some Espanol along the way as well, to really help individuals understand that, hey, this is our chance to actually decentralize ourselves from central oppressive powers, where, again, we don't actually have a chance to actually grow with. We get 5.5 annually, but in the cryptocurrency, I teach people how to make 1% daily, 3%, so on and so on, because of these dividends. And again, it's a really unique ecosystem. So decentralization, learn cryptocurrency a lot sooner than later, and then you'll be able to decentralize and have more control over your life, especially financially.
I love it. We need to empower others to empower others. Denarius Lewis, our future presidential candidate in 2028. Thank you for all you do to empower others. Check him out at Denarius Lewis. Thank you so much. And we look forward to having you back on and continue to support you in the democratization that is necessary for equity and inclusion, especially, but more importantly, how to teach people to be happy, healthy, wealthy, and worthy, and figure out what they're doing to interfere with it. Come back and join me, my friend. Take care.
Thank you.
You got it. Denarius Lewis, check him out. He's amazing. All righty.